communication does not appear to be giving so much relief to many young Kenyans?
The reason, first and foremost, that this news did not make it to the headlines is because it doesn't really amount to something. Because looking at it from our current economy and how things are going in our country, telling a student or a parent to pay an amount amounting to 150,000 for medicine, that is per year, is still a heavy burden. The right approach would be to restructure the funding model, because it really lacks the gaps to identify which band one is supposed to, and the government should be looking at a way to supplement. And even if it is okay to say that they are wrong and they go back to the funding model and restructure, it wouldn't hurt them. It's also, I see it that the government is trying to be popular with the students and their parents, of which that will fall on deaf ears, because they still feel the pinch. Nothing is going to happen. Nothing is going to happen really, because looking at it, education is not all about tuition fee. It's about they have other expenses, transport, accommodation. Those are still going to affect them in one way or another. So this will not indeed help. It is just one of those populist gimmick.
All right.
So to say.
Faith Matayan, this administration has been accused of creating problems, then coming later and saying they've solved them. The issue about fuel, that once they got into office, fuel prices were a bit lower, then they hiked significantly, then a few months later they come and say we've reduced. Their critics were saying the same thing about this reduction in university fees. Do you agree that this is a problem that this government created by itself?
Yes, I'll say that this is something that I think we're used to as Kenyans. And so far, our government has become a savior in some way, creating problems, then coming up with solutions. And I think as youth, we are not buying that. And given the fact that we have a few months to elections, we feel that this model is not sustainable. It could be an end, a means to an end. So as youth, we have many questions that need to be answered.
You feel that this is a campaign gimmick, that this
Yes.
is simply a search for popularity?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Austine, do you agree with that?
Yeah, of course. The place that we've reached as a nation, I think now, of course, this is a political mind game, and you can see that Mr. Ruto wants to now start strategizing. He's strategizing for 2027. And that's why you see these problems they are pretending to be solving, they are the problems they are creating themselves. Like now, when you saw the CS saying the capitation will be reduced, you see a whole cabinet secretary cannot just come to the public and say something like that without being discussed behind maybe in those cabinet meetings or whatever. Then after now the public outcry, they now come and say the program will continue, this and that will continue, but that is just being done to now they've made people to cause that to complain. Now they come and say no, it will continue, so that you can now applaud them and say that they are doing something. But in real sense, there's nothing progressive that this government is doing. And so all this you are saying is just a preparation for 2027, so that he can be re-elected. Because even when you look at the initial fee structures, the old funding model, these figures are slightly higher, but with a little amount. But you see, under the new funding model, the students are being given a loan, and that loan is coming in form of help, and also now part of it is being given as a scholarship or something. So you still have to repay for that money that they are funding your education for. Okay. Yeah, so there's nothing that, in fact, this is a con game. Yes, there's nothing that is being solved.
A political communication strategist. Why this mistrust? Why? Because looking at a group of 4 or 5